I'd like to check that my sound is working for everybody. So if there's anybody out there who can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very, very much. If you'd like to put on some of your favorite music today for yoga class, I recommend that. So you can take a moment to locate that. It's winter time here in Colorado anyway. And so we're going to be doing a fairly calming practice, inwardly moving wintertime energy. My name is Alix, and you're welcome to leave your camera off if you like, but if you want to put it on, that can help build a sense of community. I know that here with the pandemic that's been going on, I personally am feeling a little bit shy. I don't go out as often as I used to, and I'm a little bit socially awkward now. So thanks for being here with me. Class today is going to be mostly focused on core strengthening, working with moving the spine in all its different ranges of motion. I have in mind that we've been sitting at the computer a lot, so counter poses to being a little bit stagnant and being working at our computer. We're going to start lying down today. Making your way to your back. And while we're on the floor, we're going to also be opening up through the shoulders. So depending on the flexibility in your shoulders, maybe your hands will be out to the side as if you were going to do Shavasana. I've got my knees bent and my feet flat on the floor. If you're more open in the shoulders, maybe cactus pose with the elbows bent and the arms out to the side. If that doesn't give you any stretch in the shoulders, then you can work your arms towards overhead, straight. So just find a place where the shoulders feel like they're getting some opening. Maybe you're already so open that you can lie flat on the floor with your shoulders, your arms extended upright. Find what's comfortable. Close your eyes. Comfortable, but also feeling some opening across the chest and in the shoulders, hopefully. Let's connect with our breath. Notice how your back feels on the floor. Notice if your breath moves your back, changes the shape of your back at all on the floor. Maybe it's very subtle. What goes on in the lumbar area on the inhale and on the exhale. And how about up by the thoracic spine, in between your shoulder blades? What kind of movement is there on the floor with your inhale and your exhale? Bring your knees now to the chest. You can hug the knees with your hands, then rock gently from side to side. I can't see the chat, So do open your microphone and let me know if you're having any issues. Of course, my internet went out 15 minutes before teaching class, so I'm on my hotspot on my phone. Hopefully that works well. Hug the knees in and then release them a little bit. Hug them in, release them a little bit. Feel the spine rolling up off the floor from the sacrum, area of the hips, up into the lumbar. And just let the spine go down, tailbone going towards the floor. Pull the knees in, and tailbone lifts up. It's not from any effort of the muscles around the spine, but mostly from the arms pulling, the hands pulling in on the knees. Let the arms go back out to the side or overhead again, getting that opening in the shoulders, and the feet are going to go upward. If your legs can't go to a right angle, so your feet are away from you a little bit, that's going to get tiring on your belly. So if you can't have the legs straight up, maybe bend the knees a little bit. Just get used to the legs being up there for a moment, breathing. And then we'll point the toes towards the sky and then flex the feet so your toes are coming towards your head. Point and flex, point and flex at your own pace. If you have music, you can be pointing and flexing to the rhythm of your music. Keep breathing. Good. And then with the feet in neutral, let's scissor the feet back and forth a little bit. Again, if you need to bend your knees, that's fine. Legs are working towards straight. Even though we're starting from our back, we are warming up. Hopefully you're feeling the core engaging. Your belly is needing to work to keep the legs moving and up in the air. Okay, legs back to the center. This time we're going to scissor them across. So you're crossing the ankles forward and back. Scissoring, good. I can see some of you out there. Looks like your bellies are working. Nice job. Couple more. Might be feeling this in your thighs. I am. And then with the feet together, bring the knees down to the chest and hug the knees in. Gently rock from side to side. Next, we're going to take the knee with the knees at an angle and separate the legs away from each other. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch through the inner thigh. Flex the feet. We're trying to have the knees, what would you say? Like they're not away from the hips and they're not towards your head, but straight up from the hips, although they're out to the side. Then with the arms, maybe the hands behind the head would be nice for this one. We're going to be doing some lifts with our shoulders. A very small movement here. I don't want you to pull on your neck with your hands, but just lift the shoulders off the floor. So the hands are just gently supporting the neck, lifting and letting go. You can breathe with the movement, inhaling up and exhaling down, or you can move a little bit faster, not going on single breath. But do please keep breathing. Good job. Let's do 5 more. where your core is working. I'm feeling this a lot in my solar plexus area. Every different movement we do is going to work a little bit different part of the core, different part of the spine is moving. Head resting down, knees back together, hug them into the chest, rock from side to side. Both legs going up again, feet together. If you'd like, you can put your palms flat on the floor and tuck them underneath the hips, or you can keep stretching your shoulders with your arms up overhead or out to the side. If you put your hands underneath the hips a little bit, it gives your lower back a little more support for some leg lowering action that we're going to do. Exhale slowly with the feet flexed. We're taking the legs down. Don't even go past the halfway point for now. Inhale, bringing the feet, pointing the toes back up to the ceiling. Exhale, lowering, just making it fairly easy on yourself. Inhales, point the toes and lift back up. Find your own rhythm with your breath. Exhales down. Inhales, legs back up. You can find your own rhythm with your breath and how far down you want to take the legs. As you become comfortable in this movement, move slowly. The further down you take the legs, the more challenging it's going to be on your belly and all the muscles in your abdomen. As the legs go down, you'll notice it works different muscles. See if you can feel which muscles are engaging on the different parts of this arc. The lower you go, the lower muscles engage more, is what I'm experiencing. You can go fast or slow. Find what works for you, but don't go so fast that you're not feeling the effort. Let's all now go extra slow, lower, lower. Keep breathing. We're going to hold halfway down, breathing. Try to keep the belly firm so your lumbar is not lifting too high. You're not arching your back. Maybe a little lower, Hold. Squeeze your legs together and release the legs to the floor. Good job. Bend your left knee, foot flat on the floor. Bring the right leg up. Take the hands to the back of the leg. And we're going to stretch the right hamstring, foot flexing. You can always bend the knee a little bit if it's painful or if you can't reach your leg comfortably. Working towards straight. Let the right hip sink back to the floor. Don't lift that buttocks off the floor. You want to have your sacrum firmly on the floor. And if you're flexible, you're pulling that leg towards your head. I can imagine some of you out there with your shin almost to your forehead. My hamstrings are one of my tightest areas, so I'm going to be gentle, breathing. All the sitting that we do is tightening up the backs of the legs. To increase the stretch, you might slide your left leg out along the floor, straightening that leg, flexing that foot, both feet now flexing. You can always keep that leg bent if it's better for you. Breathing. On your next inhale, gently, not torquing your neck, the shoulders off the floor. You can move your head around to show that you're not squeezing your neck in an uncomfortable way. We're just trying to lift the chest towards the leg a little bit. Maybe let go with the hands. and reach past the leg with your hand. Let's squeeze up and down a little bit. Squeezing up, just a small motion. 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and release the torso down. Bend your right knee, slide your right leg out along the floor. Relax both legs, shake them out. This time we're bending our right knee with the right foot flat on the floor, and the left leg is lifting for the hamstring stretch, reaching up the leg or reaching to the foot, whatever is good for you. Let the sacrum be heavy on the floor on both sides, so you're not lifting your buttocks up off the floor. You can always bend the left knee if you need to. We'll stay here for a bit. Counterpose to sitting in chairs. I'd like to flex your left foot, toes pulling towards your body. Relax the back on the floor. Relax the shoulders down towards the floor. Pulling the leg towards your body as much as is comfortable for you. And sliding the right leg out along the floor. If that works, feel free to keep the right knee bent. And then we'll do the torso lift, inhaling up, being careful with your neck. You can reach past the leg with your arms. I should have said on the other side, you can also support your head. If your neck is uncomfortable, just use the fingertips on the back of the where the skull meets the neck and give yourself a little support. You can give yourself a little massage there. Or reaching forward. Let's squeeze in if it's appropriate. Squeezing torso towards leg, leg towards torso. Just a small movement. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Release the torso down. Point your toe, release the leg down. When the leg touches, shake both legs out. And rest for a moment. Bringing the knees to the chest again, hug the legs in. Legs at a right angle with the knees above the hips, feet flexed, knees out to the side, stretching open through the inner thigh. And reaching with the hands between the legs, we're going to lift, inhale up, exhale down. Being careful with your neck. If you need to support your head with your hands, please do. Lifting on inhales, lowering on exhales, or you can move faster and just keep breathing. Move at whatever pace is comfortable for you. Hold the weight of your head with hands if that's helpful. And let's hold up, stay up. Neck comfortable, feet flexed, lift, breathe. Squeeze up 1 more and release down. Knees together, hug the knees in, rock from side to side. Great job. So when I said we were going to lie down for most of the class, maybe you were thinking Shavasana, but hopefully you're feeling warm now. I'm going to hold on to my knees and take them around in circles, massaging the sacrum on the floor. Round and round. See if you can feel all the edges of the sacrum, the hips, top of the hip. And go the other direction. Okay, knees comfortably towards the chest. Hands interlace the fingers, hands behind the head, elbows out to the side. We're going to work the sides of the body a little bit. I like to move with the breath on this one. You can take the knees so that they are over the hips. That makes it a little more challenging, or you can bring the knees towards the chest if it's difficult for you. So what we'll do here is on an inhale, extend your right leg out and take the right elbow towards the left knee, lifting the torso. Exhale, back to neutral. Let the body rest on the floor, the back's on the floor. Inhale, left leg extends, left elbow crosses over to the right knee, and exhale, relaxing back to neutral. Moving at your own pace now. Inhales, you're crossing across the body with the elbow, and exhales, relaxing. Inhale, extending the leg, and then twist the opposite way. I think you've got it. Move at your own pace. I like to inhale up and exhale down. You can experiment with your breath. Definitely possible to exhale up and inhale down. How does that change things for you? You might try it. On the exhale, you can pull the navel in and lift. Try both ways. See what you like better and stick with that. Please make sure you're breathing. If you started with your right elbow coming across, next time you do your left elbow coming across, that's your last one, and rest. Hug the knees into the chest, side to side. Arms out to the side again, or overhead. How are your shoulders doing? Let's let the legs extend and just stretch out on the floor long. Stretch your belly. And relax. Knees bent at about a right angle. We're going to be taking the knees from side to side together. So both knees are going towards the right, but don't touch down. Inhale up. You can shift your hips with a little movement so the hips shift to the right when your legs go to the left. Inhale up. Shift your hips. Exhale down. Don't touch the floor with the legs. Keep holding the weight of the legs up with your belly. If you're stronger, you can do this with your legs straight. Back and forth. Exhale down. Inhale up to the middle. Shift the hips. Exhale down. Inhale up. Try to keep your shoulders square on the floor, but you're letting your spine twist all the way up into the thoracic spine. Good. Side to side. Keep breathing. We're working our core, and we're also giving our organs a nice twisting massage here. Feel all the parts of your belly, the abdominal cavity moving. All of our digestion being stimulated. whichever side you started on, if you remember, and finish on the opposite side. Last one. Hug the knees to the chest, side to side, relax. And the feet flat on the floor with the knees up so your heels are close to your body. We're going to go into some exploration of back bending now using gentle bridge pose movements. You might like your arms to continue to stay out to the side, stretching up overhead if you like. You can always keep them by your side if that's more comfortable. Take a big inhale. And on the exhale, round your back so that your tailbone lifts off the floor, but the hips stay down. Inhale, relax. Let the belly lift naturally with your inhale. With the exhale, you're tucking your tail, keeping the top of the hips on the floor. Inhale. As you soften, the belly rises. Exhale, making some effort. The navel draws towards the floor, the tailbone tucks, but we're not lifting yet. We're not lifting into bridge. It's a movement of tucking the hips. You can go at your own pace. Exhale, you're drawing your navel down towards the floor, which helps the tail to tuck. The sacrum's lifting off the floor, but you're not letting the lumbar come off the floor. Nice big breaths. On your next exhale, let more of the spine roll off the floor, but please try to roll one vertebra at a time. So take your time. You might have to stop and take an inhale. And exhale, keep going, rolling very slowly, one vertebra at a time, off the floor, up into the lumbar area. And then slowly rolling back down. Now, I like to roll down on the exhale personally, because as I exhale, the navel's coming in towards the spine and I can round my back to help me come down one vertebra at a time. It gets tricky in the lumbar. Try to release one part of the spine down at a time, one vertebra. Once you're all the way down, relax. So this is a slow movement. We'll do it. Take a big inhale just on the floor. Exhale, slowly roll the spine one vertebra at a time off the floor. Really take your time. And you can pause and inhale as many times as you need to. Don't stop breathing. Go as slow as you like. Come up as high as you like. When all the weight's on the shoulders and you can't lift any more vertebrae off the floor, then you're ready to start rolling slowly back down. Again, you can take inhales, pausing on the way down. Just take your time. We're using some very fine muscle control that we might not use in our daily life very often. Getting in touch with some deep muscles that are on the front and back of the spine. When you make it all the way down, relax, and then we'll do one more. You might be doing more than I am. I'm going pretty slow. This is my third one. See how your breath moves you. You may find that rising up on inhale feels good as well, or going down on the inhale. So just experiment. Next time you're up as high as you can go, let's hold that. I'm going to take my hands down to the floor and interlace them underneath my body, tucking the shoulders underneath for a full bridge pose. Let the weight be heavy on the upper shoulder. The neck should be very comfortable, not straining at all. And once we're here, let's see if we can open the chest a little bit more. Inhale, lift the heart up by pushing into the feet on the floor. Exhale, lengthen towards your knees from the chest to the knees. Push the feet down and come up a little more. Inhale, opening your heart. Exhale, get longer. Relax. One more big inhale, lifting the heart up. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Smile. Release the hands and we'll slowly roll down again. Take your time. Once your hips are on the floor, bring the knees to the chest and roll side to side. Squeeze your head towards your knees, get really round, flex your feet, lifting the shoulders off the floor, squeeze up and release. Roll on to one side and use your hands to help you get onto your hands and knees. Taking the knees wide, buttocks towards the heels. Let's rest in child's pose for a moment. Just getting used to being off our back. We were lying down for about half an hour. Forehead on the floor. If it reaches. If your foot doesn't reach the floor, you can use your hands to support you, elbows to support you. If you have knee problems, often the hips don't make it to the heels, so modify child's pose as you need. If you can extend the arms out, go ahead and extend them out. Reach into the fingertips. Try to lift the forearms off the floor and only have the palms down. Extending through the shoulder. Keep reaching into the fingertips. Feel the thumb side of the hand on the floor. And on an inhale, we're going to come up onto the hands and the knees. Nice and square with the wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Cat-cow. Inhale, looking up, lifting the sitting bones. Exhale, rounding. We've warmed up the spine and all of the core muscles. So we can probably go fairly deeply here into this cat-cow. Inhales, the head is coming up. Try to arch the back evenly up into the shoulder blade area, especially. And exhales, round as if you were part of a circle. The whole spine moving together. Inhale up, making a nice arc. Where is your spine stiff or stuck? In our yoga practice, we often go to the most flexible part of our spine and work it without getting those tight spots and those stiffer places moving. And that can cause injuries over time. So cat-cow is a great place to see where does the spine want to move into this back bend or into this rounding? And where is it stiff, stuck? Coming to a neutral spine. Going to take the left leg out behind us, lifting that left leg to straight out, flex the foot. And then we're going to do some lifts, engaging our glutes here. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Press into the palms. Check that your neck is comfortable. Lift up with your belly so that you're not sagging into the cow side of cat-cow. Neutral spine, lifting the leg repeatedly. You can go at whatever pace is comfortable. Please keep breathing. What muscles are having to engage to do this? What happens if you point your foot? Is it more comfortable to flex the foot or point? How does it change things? Couple more. Okay, more like 10 more. They're fast. Good job. I'm not counting. And lower that knee down. Nice. Wiggle the hips. If your arms need a rest, you can always sit back on your heel and go to the other side. Right leg lifting. And little lift. Keeping the spine supported with your belly. Keep pressing into the palms so that you're not sagging into your shoulders, but you're extending up. Smile. Breathe. Problem with not counting is you don't know if you're staying equal on both sides. So hopefully we'll do about the same number on this side. Breathing. About 10 more. And lowering the leg down. Sitting back on the heels. Rest. Either extending the arms, or if you'd like to bring the hands back by the feet for a more passive child's pose. In child's pose, try to breathe into the roundness of your back so that you can feel on the inhales the hips, the ribs, like spreading away from each other. And then we'll slowly come back up to the hands and the knees. This time we'll reach the right arm out and the left leg. Stretching long. On exhale, bringing the elbow towards the knee, rounding the back. Inhale, extend, lift. Exhale, round. Elbow coming towards the belly. Inhale, you extend. Exhale, round. 5, 4, 3, 2. And last one. Squeeze everything in. Back to the hands and the knees for the other side. Left arm extends. Right leg out. Exhale, squeezing in. Inhale, extending and lifting. Little balancing issues going on. Exhales in. Inhale, lift. For me, anyway, I'm going to fall over. Exhale and inhale. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4. Move with your breath. 3, 2, and 1. Tuck the toes under. Sit on the heels. We're going to be doing a little toe stretch. So with the toes tucked under, guess I'm warm enough to take my socks off. It snowed here yesterday. With the toes tucked under, you can spread the toes out. Make sure that little pinky toe is getting a stretch on the floor as well. This can be very painful if your feet are tight, so you can stay up, not sitting on the heels, or put your hands on the floor if you need to. If it's easy, maybe the knees slide forward a little bit along the floor to increase the stretch on the feet. And then let's let the feet be flat on the floor. So the tops of the feet are flat, sitting on the heels. This can also be tight for many people. So if you need to lean forward or take some of the weight onto your hands, you can do so. If it's easy, you can take the hands back and lift the knees up a little bit. If the knees are lifting, it's nice to lift the heart, doing a little back bend in the upper back. Let's try Hiro's pose. With the knees together, we're going to maybe sit between the feet. Now, if you have any knee issues, you're going to want to be very careful, or if you're just very tight in the front of the thighs, so you can sit on something. If it's possible to go to the floor comfortably and safely, you can sit on the floor. So please don't do anything that's going to hurt your knees. Make sure you take the time to get something to sit on if this isn't working for you. Or keep your weight forward. You want to have your toes pointing back, not out to the side. Now, depending on how this is for you, if your knees are okay, you might go back a little bit. Even if you're sitting on something, you can take your hands back comfortably maybe. So just check it out. This is another area from sitting in the chair. We get very tight in the front of the hips, in the front of the thighs. This is a good counter pose for computer work. If you're quite flexible, you might be all the way down on the floor. If you are down low, keep your knees together and keep the knees down on the floor. Try not to let them lift. And the work is to bring the navel towards the spine, not going into a big back bend in the lower back as you extend on the floor. A couple more breaths here. Pressing into your knees. If you're going in the backwards direction, it's going to help you get a little bit more stretch in the front of those thighs. We'll go in the forward direction from here now. Maybe you already weren't going backwards, but just experiment wherever you were before. Is it possible now to bring the rib cage towards your thighs? Try to keep your buttocks down on either the floor or whatever you were sitting on, and fold at the hips. Take your time. Nice deep breathing. Inhale, come up onto your knees so that you can bring your feet together and sit on the heels. Hold on to your heels now with your hands for rabbit pose. In rabbit pose, we're going to try to bring the crown of the head to the floor quite close to the knee. So take your time Let your back be very round and see where you can put the crown of the head on the floor. It might not be very close to the knees, but whatever works is fine. What we'd like to do here now is get a little bit of weight on the crown of the head, as long as it's safe for your neck. And we do that by lifting the hips up. See if you can feel the crown of the head on the floor with some weight on it. Just being very safe on your neck, of course. You can also hold on firmly to your heels and try to roll like a wheel, try to roll forward, and that will stretch your shoulders. Very round backed pose. So breathe into the roundness of the back of the ribcage. Try to round your lumbar spine a little more. Tuck the tail a little bit. And when you're ready, the hips come back to the heels. Slowly sit up. Shift your hips to the floor so you can come to a cross-legged position. Flex the feet underneath the knees. You're going to try to have the shins right on top of each other. So rather than having the feet close into the buttocks, we want the feet out underneath the knees. When you look down, you should see a triangle in your lap. You can move the flesh of the buttocks away from the sitting bones. And this is a nice hip stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding if you have anywhere to go. You may already be feeling a lot in your hips. Whenever we're on the floor, if you're getting too much sensation or it's difficult, you could be sitting up on something that'll reduce the stretch in the hips for you. Feet flexed. On the inhales, lengthen the spine. Let's not round the spine yet, but rather focus on folding at the hip and trying to stay open in the belly, in the chest. Big breath. The exhales fold you if you have anywhere to go. Taking your time. No hurry to get to your maximum. I'm still slowly going down a little bit more on my exhales with a flat spine. One of my favorite teachers, Eric Schiffman, says the fastest way to get deeply into a pose is to go slowly. When you do get to your max, if you would like to let the head droop down, let the back round a little bit, and take a couple of breaths to deeply relax here at your maximum point. You can always back up from your maximum if it gets too intense. Inhale breath is going to lift you up. Use your hands to help you come up. We're going to reverse the crossing. So I had my left leg in front. Now my right leg is going to be in front. Resetting ourselves up so that our feet are underneath our knees. Feet are flexed. Triangle in our lap. Flesh moving back away from the sitting bones. That already starts to tilt the hip forward. Staying upright if this is intense enough for you, sitting on something if needed, or folding forward with a fairly flat back. Taking your time. Try to keep the sitting bones nicely grounded into the floor as you go. On inhales, you can lengthen a little bit more through the belly, through the heart area. Exhales, releasing if you have anywhere to go. And when you're not moving any deeper into the pose, if you'd like to let the head relax, let the spine relax. Inhale, coming up. Bring your feet closer to you so that you can shift forward into plank pose. We're almost done, but thought we better do just a little knee and a little arm strengthening here. On the exhales, let the knees come towards the floor, but don't let them touch. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten. Nice, strong arms. Spread the fingers wide. We got a pretty good core workout today for never having gotten up off the floor. Knees down, belly onto the floor. Sphinx pose. The elbows are below the shoulders. Snuggle your belly into the ground, shifting the hips from side to side. And then push the forearms down, palms down to lift the heart up away from the earth. Shoulder blades slide down the back. One more breath here, lifting the heart, maybe point the toes back. And exhale, slowly lower down. Roll on back to our backs. Knees coming towards the body. Move in any way here that's releasing. If you would like to do a shoulder stand or a headstand to end your practice, if you have those in your practice, please feel free to do those now. Or you might just like to end with a twist with the knees going to one side. Making our way to Shavasana. We started a little bit late, but I know some of you may need to leave right on time. So if you need to be done at 9:15, then you've got 2 minutes for Shavasana. Whenever you feel complete and you're ready to do Shavasana, then go ahead and get yourself comfortable, flat on the floor. You can always put something underneath your knees or a pillow for your head. Let go of all effort. Check out how you feel in your abdomen, chest, back of the body. We worked some muscles that we might not use that regularly. You might be able to feel them now. Maybe they feel warm or tingly. Letting all of those muscles in the belly now relax. The weight of the hips is heavy on the floor. Buttocks relaxing. I don't know if scientifically it's possible, but it feels like all the organs are settling towards the earth, settling to the back of the body. Relaxing your chest. Maybe picturing your heart and lungs also settling towards the earth. Because the weight of your head is now completely supported, you can relax your neck totally. Releasing the shoulders, arms, hands. Legs are heavy on the floor, feet. Skin of the face is relaxing. Around the eyes, mouth, around your temple. Maybe the brain can settle back towards the back of the skull, settling down towards the earth. Tongue releasing. Scan the body one more time to see if there's any place where you're holding tension, some habitual place where you store stress or anxiety. Through our yoga practice, we've released holding old patterns. We've released tension in the muscles and opened up the flow of prana. We've allowed the mind to settle down by syncing the mind with the body and the breath. So we have really done a nice cleansing, can let go of everything that came before this moment. And when you're ready, beginning to move again, starting fresh. New, fresh seeds are arising in every moment. So we don't have to be the same as we were before. Roll onto one side, making your way to seated when you're ready. With the eyes closed, just imagine your body, your thoughts. Imagine that you could feel them as they truly are, as our past thoughts, words, and deeds ripening. Constant ripening of energy like a fountain. And try to stay in touch with that feeling during the day today, being happy about all of the efforts that we make towards kindness and changing our habits to be more helpful to others. Thank you very much for practicing today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.